Hello, snowboarders of the internet. We're your hosts, Avran, LeFeber, and Leroy Lovesack. And this is the Angrysnowboarder daily morning whatever show to keep you stoked during these trying mental times. Now, if you're new here, this is only the second episode, so shit's really raw and rough. We apologize. We're still looking better than all those night show hosts that have to do their shows from their phones in their garages or bathtubs or wherever the fuck they are. Man, those guys were woefully ill-prepared for something like this. The rest of us, business as usual. Anyways, it's another day and another episode. You know how this goes. Also, remember, Wednesdays and Fridays we do live streams. Those live streams will be at 1 p.m. each day, 1 p.m. So for those of you that want to tune in live, you can totally do that. The original snowboarding, Super Chat Snowboarding Wheel of Misfortune will be returning. What do you say, Leroy? Yeah, Leroy's all about that Super Chat Snowboarding Wheel of Misfortune. In fact, that's how he ended up on the show. Also, we will be putting the Google number out real soon for you guys to be able to call in and talk to us. So hopefully some of you will partake of that. I can't wait to see how many people just call up and tell me how much I suck. That's going to be phenomenal. That's really going to help my mental health. What's that, Leroy? Yeah, I know. Maybe I'll off myself from all the negativity that brings in. Thanks, buddy. Glad you got me there. What are you trying to do to me, Leroy? Where'd that knife come from? You keep this up, I'm replacing you with Chad. Fuck it. That's mine. You don't get to play with my knife. Alright, anyways. Let's dive into this. Where the hell did you pull that knife from again? I really think you're trying to kill me in my sleep, man. This isn't fucking cool. Anyways, I'm going to ask upon all you snowboarders of the internet for your snowboarding civic duty. That's right. It's voting time for the X Games Real Snow. You got 5 people to vote from. Craig McMorris, Mark McMorris's brother, way more street-oriented than Mark. Zach Hale, who I still can't believe is snowboarding or sponsored, but whatever. Jesse Augustinus, Mark Wilson, and Renee Renacongas. Now, I will have a link down below that you can click and go vote for them. You can vote every day till Sunday the 5th. They will announce the winner on the 6th of April. I think Sunday's the 5th. Maybe it's Monday. I don't have any clue what's going on with days anymore because nothing fucking matters. But we have to do our snowboarding civic duty, which means that we have to vote in this. Why? Because we are the snowboarders of the internet. Are you going to vote? Can you even vote? Are you even a real human? I don't know. Fuck this guy. I think he's trying to kill me. Give me that. It's mine. Be playing with knives. Fucking tweak your mustache. Goddamn bastard. Anyways, I've watched the edits. If we're going for worst music, that goes to Jesse Augustinus. Best music, Renee Renacongas. Second best music, probably going to go with Mark Wilson on that one. Craig McMorris would be third right behind that. Now, if we're talking about overall riding, my personal belief, Renee Renacongas. What do you think, Leroy? Yeah? Really? Really? Fucking weird, man. Do you even snowboard? This guy over here. Regardless, I think Renee Renacongas actually has the strongest part in there. Probably followed up with either Craig McMorris or Mark Wilson in there. Jesse Augustinus, I wanted to turn it off every single time. It was mainly the music. Backtail. I mean Zach Hale. Zach Hale actually has some decent stuff in his part, but it's not anything we haven't seen from him. Renee Renacongas, I feel, is a stronger rider during this, but I'll leave that up to all you guys to decide who to vote for. I'll have links to every video down below, as well as to the X Games Real Snow website that you can vote on. Remember, you can vote once a day, every day until the 5th. So get out there, do your civic duty for snowboarding, and let's make sure that something that doesn't suck wins the fan vote. And now we go to Randy, the workout guy, formerly Randy, the warranty guy, with your daily stretches and exercises.
God damn, all you snowboarders of the internet are back for more with Randy, the workout guy. Evidently you haven't gotten enough of me. You know what this is, and you know what we're going to do. We're going to get you in shape, and we're also going to hydrate with a bunch of Zima. Alright, that's a nice 12-ounce curl right there, people. Now for the next stretch, we're going to try to loosen up your pelvis, you know, that thing you thrust into your significant other with. Hopefully none of you people are making babies during all this, because, man, the 2030s, when we get the quarantines, it's just going to be awful, man. Goddamn little bastards running around. I mean, the only reason to procreate is so you have backup parts, you know, like organs and bone marrow. I've never procreated, or at least I don't acknowledge that those 18 little bastards are my kids. I don't acknowledge them. I keep saying daddy, daddy, but they ain't my kids. But in the event that I ever need bone marrow or organs, I got them. Anyways, that has nothing to do with this stretch. So with this stretch, you're going to put your hands on your hips like this. Breathing in through your nose and back out through it. You're going to go in a slow clockwise motion, just like this. You see that? Just like that. You're going to just move your hips right round, baby, right round. You spin them right round, baby, right round. That's dead or alive. That was in a Kevin Jones video part. Kevin Jones is God. Don't you ever forget that. He was Travis Rice before Travis Rice. Anyways, once again, you're going to do this 10 times, which is 8 plus 2. Although, someone told me that my maths was wrong and it said it's 2 times 5. I don't know that multiplication shit. You're going to go counterclockwise, which is the opposite way that the hands on the clock go when you're sitting in the detention center. Alright, everyone got that? So then, breathing back in through your nose and out through it. Deep breaths from the diaphragm. You got that? That's going to help loosen up your pelvis just a little bit better. It'll also probably improve your sexual performance in the bedroom because your hips won't dislocate. Looking at you, Grandma. I know you've been getting down at the old folks' home. You guys are in that isolation. What else you guys got to do? Oof. Besides, you're always asking for Vaseline and KY jelly for Christmas, Grandma. I'm on to you. I know what you're doing, you sinner. You need to come over and pray to the altar of snowboarding. Well, not right now. You need to stay safe, Grandma. You're 147 years old. You remember the last pandemic. Anyone got any questions about that one? No? Good. Let's move on. Zima. The elixir of the gods.
May God have mercy on your soul if you learn anything from this man, because he has been downing trucker speed and Zima since this whole quarantine and self-isolation began. His productivity has soared, but his mental attributes have very, very much diminished. It's very scary. Right, Leroy? Yeah, Leroy agrees with me. So, there we go. And today's outside window weather report, well, it's not fire and brimstone today. In other news, Todd Richards is reading his book P3 for everyone on YouTube. It's filmed in vertical box, which means his phone is upright while he records it. But if you ever wanted to hear the toddler read his life story, now's your chance. It's like a book on tape, but with bonus content. So I'll have a link down below and you can check that out. We're doing a show. You don't need to be reading Todd's book right now. He'll read it to you yourself later. Jesus, man. Do you have no respect for the snowboarders of the internet? Fuck you. Today's comedy comes from a bitter Beaver Creek employee, maybe a Vail Resorts employee. Well, definitely a Vail Resorts employee. It owns Beaver Creek. Hiked up the mountain and put this up on the webcam. The webcam has now since been deactivated, but it kind of goes back to how certain people feel that Vail handled the whole getting rid of their seasonal employees. And, well, it's kind of a conflicting thing. I just put it up with the caption, I'm just going to leave this right here. Now people tried to say that I was being woke, which I'm not. Other people were trying to say that I was defending the employees and I should be defending Vail's actions. I wasn't. I was just putting it out there to see what people's reactions were. I mean, if the world's going to burn, I'm going to sit back and watch it. Why? Because sometimes you need a fire to roast the fucking marshmallows. No, so this appeared up there, and I get where people are disgruntled. I mean, you had 9 days to vacate. 10 days, I believe, is actually what the newspaper reported, even though the sign says 9 days. But you had 10 days to vacate staff housing. Here's the thing. You got 10 days. Mammoth's employees, I think, got 24 or 48 hours. So you should be happy you got that. Plus, they also said that if no one had anywhere to go, because they felt it would be safer for people to vacate, that they could stay and they would be supported and they would work with them. Now, I don't know how true that is, but that's what I read. I mean, there's numerous articles on it. So, no, well, some people were pretty upset with this measure. I think we need to really look at the bigger thing. You have people living in suites, 2 to a room, sometimes 3 to a room, anywhere between 4 and 6 people to a unit. Community spread could do it, and these guys are seasonal. It's not like they're entrenched in the community. So now you've got these employees here, bunkered down. Maybe some of them don't have a place to go, which if they don't, they should have stayed. But if they did have a place to go, they probably should have gone if they didn't have symptoms, so that quarantine, self-isolation, because the resources in these mountain communities just isn't equipped for having an extra 1,000, 2,000, however X number of employees are out there. So I understand through the guidelines of what the county and the state and the communities were doing, makes sense to tell these people to leave. But it also, as it was stated in every article I've read, that if they had no place to go, they would be supported and they could stay. It wasn't like a forced eviction, not like what I heard Mammoth did. Eesh. Fucking just booting their employees out left and right. The bigger thing that we have to look at is these people, they pretty much, if you didn't think that you were just a cog in the corporate wheel for Vail Resorts, you just learned it the hard way. This is something I've been preaching for the 11 years that Angrysnowboarder's been around. I've been preaching it longer than that. That you're nothing more than a cog in the wheel and you're easily replaced. Now, by getting rid of the seasonal employees, any of the year-round employees, they're still getting paid. So you have that to help the community. So you got to look at that, where a lot of corporations just fired everyone or laid them off or furloughed them. Vail's still paying their year-round people. I've got a few friends that are definitely getting paid from that. So there's a positive on that side. But there's also that whole, well, what about the community spread if you did send these people out? Because supposedly the U.S. Open of snowboarding was a hotbed of activity for this virus. So you got that. The other thing to look at is, now that this came out, because, I mean, they did take down the webcam for Beaver Creek, Rob Katz and his wife came out donating $500,000 to the Epic Promise of Vail Resorts for their employees that are dealing with this. So I don't know if that affects any of the seasonal people. I refuse to be a snow carny unless I absolutely have to. So I don't really know. But here in Summit County, we got money to 2 different foundations that can use that money right now. That's going to help our local communities. And I know there's stuff for Tahoe, Whistler, Utah, Jackson Hole got $50,000. Other communities got stuff to help, whether they're getting food or rent assistance, whatever. So there's that. But the court of public opinion is saying that Rob Katz and his wife came out to do this as a backpedal for booting the employees, which the court of public opinion, that can be any way you want it to be. But, I mean, Vail has taken a hit with their stocks, but as of today, while I'm recording this, their stocks are actually up. So maybe that goodwill from Rob Katz is doing it. Yes, I know Rob Katz skis in jeans, asshole. I'm talking here. Okay, so sorry about that. He's being a dickhole. This is the whole thing. Now, anyone that thinks I have a pro or con stance on this really needs to look at this from my perspective on it. Does it suck that they were booted? Yeah. Would they have been getting kicked out in the next few weeks anyways? Yeah, they would have slowly started tapering off employees. I mean, Beaver Creek would be closing the next week, I believe. I think it was like the 7th. Vail was right around there. They would have been diminishing their capacity and they would have been moving out anyways because they're seasonal employees. I mean, you have to go with the guidelines, and we're in an unprecedented time frame here, I mean, hotels, motels, Airbnbs, VRBOs, all that stuff, short-term rentals, everything like that was terminated. And the way that those seasonal employees, I believe it's worded as a short-term contract that can be cut at any time. I haven't really looked at the paperwork that you signed, but talking with people I know that have lived in there in the past, it was similar to something like that. I don't have all the figures on this, so might be speculating and spitballing, but I get it. You're closing these down, and we need to diminish the drain on our minimized resources anyways. And it might be safer for some of these kids that are 18 to 22 that really aren't entrenched in the community to go back to their parents to go there. And I know that they were running shuttles to the airport, which, I mean, flying germ barges. But I know that they were trying to help get them where they could, and they did pay them through March 22nd, even though they weren't working previously the week or two before. So they did pay them to get them out of there, basically. I've seen some people commenting on how paychecks have been messed up, and that's something you're going to have to look into with the company. That's the court of public opinion can weigh in on it, but unless someone that actually works there can do something about it, there's not much that they can truthfully say. My opinion, being a small mountain town resident with a Vail resort right there and everything, I understand how many beds we have in this county. I understand how many true year-round residents we have. Like, we had to kick out the second homeowners, the third homeowners, the VRBOs, the Airbnb people. We killed all of our tourism. Like, we had to get back down to our core community so that we aren't stretched too thin. And the community as a whole here, at least in Breckenridge and Summit County, I've noticed how well it's come together, how they're orchestrating, getting food to people, getting lunches and breakfast to the kids that are out of school right now. The town of Breckenridge creating basically a loan, so to speak, or some kind of stimulus for businesses rent and for renters that are having issues through the Family for Intercultural Resource Center or Foundation or whatever it is, the FERC. So they did that for them so that they could do this. And we have to kind of look at this like, yeah, it sucks, but you should always know when you're a snow carny, if you don't have your own place and you're working for the mountain and that's all you have, you aren't part of the community. And I've said that for years. Like, until you entrench yourself in the community, you're not part of the community. And that's basically what Vail said, was we need to protect our core communities here. Goodbye. Was it the right thing? I don't know. But I do find humor in the fact that this guy posted this sign right here on the webcam for the world to see. I'll give that guy credit. That's some fucking balls of steel right there move. I find it fully comedic. I get it why you did it. You're pissed. I find the humor in this more than anything. But, you know, I'm hearing stories that some of the employees are living in tents in the woods. I feel like at this point, if they were saying that you could stay if you couldn't go anywhere, that was kind of on you to move into the tents in the woods. But then again, we have people that live in tents in the woods all winter long because they can't find housing. So if anything, maybe this is putting more light onto what I talked about yesterday with the Airbnbs, the VRBOs, and the fact that we don't have housing to accommodate our workforce, which I think going into the 2020-2021 season, if we have it, which I strongly believe we will, we're going to see a change of that dynamic. I also think we're going to see rent prices drop. I think we're going to see more need for housing that is affordable for the people that run these communities. And while times are definitely uncertain and it sucks that people lost their jobs and people were out, you have to look at kind of the positives. The year-round employees have been taken care of, and those are the people that are entrenched in the community. They are the ones. I think Mammoth handled it the worst by just straight booting all their employees, a lot of whom are so displaced that they go from seasonal job to seasonal job. Their next seasonal job didn't open, and they don't have a support system where they can go and stay and do that. I will say, at least here in Breckenridge, I've seen a lot of people for all the snow carnies and the seasonal workers reach out and say, hey, we've got a room for rent, or hey, we're going to do discounted rent on our Airbnb so you guys can stay until you figure it out. So there are those options out there. When you are doing the snowboard bum thing, your choices dictate what you're going to do. You work for the mountain, you live in staff housing, they own you. You're an indentured servant. I've said this for fucking years. they basically fucking own you. So why would you do that to yourself? I guess a lot of people are really learning the harshness of it, and maybe it's opening a lot of people's eyes. So that's a positive, right? And we're going to go back to Randy, the workout guy, with another workout for you.
Zima, the elixir of the gods.
Strange, I never thought that guy could do anything with his life. Yeah, I know, right? Crazy. For anyone that wants to have some live interactions with us, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is Wednesday, Mountain Standard Time. I don't know if it's the 1st or the 31st. I have no clue what day of the week it is anymore. And as well as on Friday, 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we will be doing live streams. This has been the Angry Snowboarder Show, and I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and this is Leroy Lovesack. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the content we've got coming out for you. And if you really like to support us and you have the financial means to, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, we've been your hosts, and we'll see you in another episode.